Good evening and welcome back to the May 7th Public Council meeting. We are reconvening and we had some discussion again in camera, and we have a motion that has arisen out of the in-camera work. So I'll turn to Councillor Wegener.
I move that council authorize the returning officer to enter into an agreement with the Golden Hill School Division number 75 and Christ the Redeemer Catholic Schools for the 2025 municipal elections, with cost to be shared as referenced in attachment 1.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? That motion is carried. We move now to item 9, consent agenda. Are there any items that are listed on the consent agenda that a councillor would like to see removed and dealt with individually? Councillor Langmaid.
Thank you, Worship. I'd like to see 14.1 Community Disability Services Professional Appreciation Week removed from the consent agenda tonight, if that's all right with council, in which case I'll make the motion that council adopt the recommendations of the following agenda reports by an omnibus motion. 10.1, regular council meeting minutes for April 16th, 2025. 10.2, special council meeting minutes for April 30th, 2025. 12.1, corporate strategic plan and financial plan quarterly report for Q4 2024. 12.2, notice of intent to annex land from Wheatland County. 12.3, returning officer appointment. 12.4, 2026 capital and operating budget timelines. And 13.2.1, WHMB signed minutes March 20th, 2025.
Thank you. I tried to follow you as best I could, but I have it all, I think. So you've all heard the motion for that consent agenda, and I'll call the question. All in favor? And that motion is carried. So we move now to item 11.1, 2025 property tax rate bylaw number 25-11. Liana, you're speaking to this. Thank you. Good evening. It's been a long evening, and welcome.
Good evening, Your Worship and Council. So I'm here tonight to present the 2025 property tax bylaw. Without having our property tax bylaw, we have no authority to charge our residents property taxes. So with Would you like me to start again? Okay. So within our 2025 budget, I want to first off start thanking you guys for all your hard work and diligence on ensuring that our municipal portion came in as low as it did. We have no control over any of our requisitions, and this is where we are going to see an overall property tax rate increase of 8%. So a big part of that is our education requisitions. And so we had, when we were doing our property tax estimations within our budgets, we had estimated $1 million light. I could say 999,700 whatever, but $1 million. I could, but I'm just going to say $1 million. And then with our seniors requisition, we had estimated high. And we were quite surprised when the shortfall from Wheatland Management Housing Board came in almost $100,000 lower. And then we also had an overage from the previous year, and that was due to the requisition for capital from the previous year, where we got the money back at the end of 2024, and what we did is we put that money into over and short. So what we're doing now is we are giving that all back to the residents in the 2025 year. So overall, our estimations on our requisitions, we were $900,000 off. I have never been that far off, and I've been doing this a number of years. I could tell you how many years, but then you'd know I was a little bit closer than, higher than 29 that I'd like to admit. But if anybody has any questions on the property tax bylaw, and I do know that you guys all received a revised copy of the bylaw, and the reason for that was when we did our first draft of our property tax bylaw, we used Wheatland County's property tax bylaw And when they passed it, some of their annex properties for us had changed. So we had to go and recalculate. So there were some minor adjustments. Overall, when we're looking at the decimals, when you've got 5 decimals and you're looking at the property tax bylaw, you're going, well, how come it's not 100% exact? It's a rounding factor when you're looking at millions of dollars and 5 decimals. So, but if you have any questions, I'm more than willing to take them.
Questions for Liana? It seems like the budgeting process is a never-ending story. We just keep coming back to it, and it's always with us. But I've been really, really impressed with the budget process. Kudos to Kevin and SLT and Finance, Liana Riley. It has been something that's been really clear, much more clear than in the past for me. So very much appreciated. Any questions for Liana? Okay, then I'm looking for some motions. Councillor Langmaid.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to move that council give first reading to bylaw number 25-11, being the 2025 property tax rate bylaw.
Thank you. All in favor? That motion is carried. Councillor Montgomery.
Thank you. I will move the council give second reading to bylaw number 25-11, being the 2025 property tax rate bylaw.
Thank you. And now that we have a motion on the floor for second reading, is there discussion on that motion? Seeing and hearing, Councillor Langmaid.
My only question is whether we should be noting here in the skeleton minutes, I see that it notes as amended, and whether we need to be maybe noting those amendments in the motion, or if, Councillor Montgomery, are you suggesting that we pass the bylaw unamended?
Jonathan?
Through your worship, really the order and the process is up to council. You can give second reading now and then make another motion separately just to amend it and then go to third reading if you so chose, or you can amend this current motion to include the amendments. It's ultimately up to council on how you would like to proceed with.
I'm good either way, it just wasn't clear.
I'll move it with amendments then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You've all heard that motion. It includes the amendments. Any discussion on that? All in favor? That motion is carried. Councillor Langmaid again.
I'll move that council give unanimous consent to give third and final reading to bylaw number 25-11, being the 2025 property tax rate bylaw.
Thank you. All in favor? And that motion is carried. Councillor Wegener.
I move that council give third reading to bylaw number 25-11, being the 2025 property rate bylaw.
Thank you. That motion's on the floor. All in favor? And that motion is also carried. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Finance. Thank you, Liana and Riley. Yes. We move now to item 11.2. Land Use Bylaw, amending bylaw number 25-09, removal of regulations for garage and garden suites. And for those people at home who are still with us in this marathon meeting, this motion is for first reading and then to direct it to a public hearing. Councillor Peterson.
Your Worship, I move that council give first reading to bylaw number 25-09, being a bylaw to amend land use bylaw number 14-11, and that council direct administration to schedule a public hearing for bylaw 25-09 on June 4th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in council chambers.
Thank you for that. We have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion on that? No discussion? All in favor? That motion is carried. We now move to item 13, councillor information and inquiries. Do we have any tonight? CAO Scoble.
Sorry, Mayor, if I may, just the motion that you were interested in making, you should probably make that under notice as a motion per the procedure bylaw, and then we'll bring it back next council meeting.
Sorry, could you restate that? Is that the one we talked about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So under notice as a motion.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. We are on item 3, though? 13? Councillor information and inquiries, 13.1 questions between councillors and council statements. Do any councillors have any questions for fellow councillors or who would wish to make a statement? Seeing none and hearing none, we can move on to question and answer period, 13.3. Do any councillors have any questions for administration? Administrative inquiries. Jonathan, do we have any tonight? Thank you. And now we go to 13.5, notices of motion. Councillor Langmaid.
Thank you, Worship. I would like to respectfully submit the following notice of motion to council for consideration at an upcoming meeting, and I'll read it out here. Whereas Land Use Bylaw number 14-11 establishes permitted and discretionary land uses within the town of Strathmore, and whereas childcare services are identified in Land Use Bylaw number 14-11 as a discretionary use in the R1, R1N, R1S, R2, R2X, R3, R3M, MHS, CR, and CB land use districts, and whereas childcare services are identified in Land Use Bylaw number 14-11 as a permitted use within the C1 and P1 land use districts, and whereas childcare services are not identified in the Land Use Bylaw as a permitted or discretionary use within the Highway Commercial land use district, and whereas highway commercial land use districts are located along a major transportation corridor, providing convenient and accessible areas of development and opportunity in the town of Strathmore, and whereas convenient and accessible childcare services can contribute to the overall economic prosperity and well-being of residents and families within the town of Strathmore, notice is hereby given that the following motion will be brought forward for consideration at the May 21st, 2025 regular council meeting. That council direct administration to prepare an amendment to Land Use Bylaw number 14-11 to include childcare services as a discretionary use within the Highway Commercial Land Use District, and that council directs administration to present the amended bylaw to council at the June 4th, 2025 regular council meeting for consideration.
Thank you for that. And CAO Scoble, I appear mentally exhausted. Did you say that Jonathan's going to help us craft a notice of motion dealing with the wetlands?
Through your worship, yeah, we'll help craft a notice of motion to be brought forward at the May 21st regular council meeting.
Thank you. I may have had a stroke there, Jonathan, and did not know what was going on. Item 14, correspondence, 14.1, Community Disability Services Professional Appreciation Week. Councillor Langmaid.
Thank you, Worship. This was on our consent agenda tonight, and I just wanted to pull it off and make sure that I had the opportunity to bring this motion forward to proclaim May 19th to the 25th as Community and Social Services, as Community Disability Services Professional Appreciation Week. It's already been proclaimed by the Minister of Seniors and Community and Social Services in Alberta. Tonight we heard from FAME, an organization in town that works with adults with developmental disabilities to help them be included within town and to be productive members of society and to enjoy all the benefits that all residents of Strathmore get to enjoy. And I'm appreciative of this opportunity to recognize the important work that they do in our community. And with that, I would like to make a motion to proclaim the week of May 19th to 25th Community Disability Services Professional Appreciation Week in Strathmore.
Thank you. Now that we have that motion on the floor and you've spoken to it, is there discussion on that motion? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? And that motion is carried. And that brings me to this. I adjourn this meeting